What's going on, guys? Joey Young here. Haven't done a video in a very long time. Happy New Year's. And it was time for a change again for this tank. And let me tell you a couple things that was going on with this tank and why I changed it, etc, etc. I know I haven't been making videos for a while, but been kind of busy with holidays and stuff, and I'm going to try to get back into the groove of things. So, as you know, this tank, I was battling with a lot of algae issues and whatnot. And then basically it was over the weekend. I was doing normal maintenance, and I was like, you know what, I have to get in here and scrub all this algae anyways. Let me just go ahead and just rescape it, just for the heck of it. So what I did was I removed as much of the sand as possible. I covered it back with ADA soil. I used the same branches. I kind of laid it out a little differently, and I just switched out the stones. So I used the Jupiter stones from ADU Aquascaping, the leftovers that I had. Threw them in there just to make it look a little different. The dragon stones were awesome, but the contrast with the dark substrate and the dragon stones, they kind of just looked like they were one piece, and I kind of wanted to see some color in it. So I swapped it out. It looked pretty decent. I might still play around with it, and we'll see what happens. There's a couple plants that I threw in here. I kind of switched out the Bruce. They were kind of getting melted back and covered with algae, so I kind of going to swap them into the 25 gallon, and I redid this a little bit. Kept a couple of the Bruces in the middle and off to the left, and there are a bunch of new plants in here. So I moved all the Erios that I had from the different tanks into this one, and I wanted to grow kind of like a carpet on this side more. I was going to use the pearl weeds up there in the background, but I decided to use some Rotella minis. They're like the little red ones for the back instead. So I decided to just let this float for a little bit to see if I still want to use it in this tank. If not, I'm going to probably put it into the other 80A Mini S tank, grow HC in that. So that combination might be pretty good. I'm going to probably pan in here in a little bit to kind of show you guys what's going on, what's the new setup and whatnot. So the fish in here, I did have pretty much the same fish, the white clouds, two plecos, the blue phantom, the one SAE there to take care of any algae, and then I moved in the rest of the neons that I had from the 125, and there's actually a couple more in there that I couldn't really catch because they're just kind of running around, but this is what I caught so far. And the sad thing is the discus, they would eat them, you know, once in a while, and it's dwindled down to probably 2 dozen or a dozen or so tetras left. So I'm gonna put them in here, let them actually live their life without getting killed, like weekly or whatever, and we'll see what happens from there. And I think I have 2 autos in here, and it's pretty much not a lot of, you know, fish, which is good for them. They like the room to swim around and whatnot, and it's looking good. Everything else is pretty much the same, the setup and everything. So let me go ahead and pan in, and that way you guys can see kind of the plants and whatnot. So, alright, so here is the pleco. We rarely see this bad boy, but you see how blue he is. He's very nice. Got 2 of those guys in here. They're chilling. They're doing very well. Here is one of the autos on there, just chilling, looking pretty fancy. The Bruces, I kind of threw them in the middle. Hopefully they'll grow around that. The orange looking thing was from the previous tank, and it was some sort of moss. I kind of latched onto that. What I did was I kind of boiled the branch, and that's what happens when you boil moss. They just die off like that. So that's what that is, because I tried to peel it off and it was really hard to get off. So I was like, oh, the fastest way is just to boil it in hot water. That's how you kill anything that you don't want to, you know, carrying over to your new tank. all the Erios. They have Parkiris, and there's the Japanese or the Japan Shingas. I forget what the fourth row, the third row is, and then the ones in the back are the compressed. And then I have some R8 minis in here in the middle. I'm gonna probably try to grow those, but the other plants that I was trying to grow here is that's from the 125. They keep getting uprooted from the other fish running around, so they didn't really get a good chance to grow. So I'm hopefully gonna try to grow those out, and we'll see. So setup is pretty basic, nothing too fancy. And there's the other Pleco if you want to see him. It's back to chilling. It's looking pretty nice. So, figured it was time for a change. I was kind of tired of the algae, and then also the sand that I had in there that was doing really good. There's a lot of rocks from there that I need to cover up, but the sand kept getting mixed with the gravel here from the fish moving it around. I was just like, whatever. Anyways, this tank is hopefully going to look better in the next couple weeks or so. And like I said, I'll be trying to make some more videos upcoming days, weeks or so. And that way you guys can kind of see all the tanks so far. I know you have probably seen them for like 3 months or so, but you'll see there's a couple changes here and there, but nothing too drastic. But yeah, peace guys.